James Gunn defends Matt Reeves. Ripoff or not, we'll find out together. And Danny Boyle is a changed man.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late for jokes.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And we have a great show for you today. We are coming to you a little bit early in the day.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. 30,
Well,
30
actually,
minutes.
it's supposed to be on time.
What?
We're actually on time for once.
Is it 12? No, we should stream at 12:30.
Well, initially it was 12.
That's a good point. Over the years, we pushed it back to 12:30.
Yeah.
So 12 o'clock stream, midday West Coast.
Yeah.
East Coasters, they're just having their lunch right now. But yeah, so thank you to everyone joining us on YouTube Live and otherwise. And of course, all the OG audio-only classmates out in podcast land. If you haven't made the move over to YouTube, why not? Come over and say hi.
Yeah, it's fun.
Check out
You'll
our...
have fun.
That's right, our glorious ponums.
We're here right now.
Yeah, and if you ever want to hear like what some of the classmates sound or look like,
Whoa.
you can see on our
My word.
on our YouTube, our trivia segment. It was Tyler versus the class a couple weeks ago. We had Heather and Stu and Dallas and all kinds of fun people.
Joseph Bridges.
Yeah, Joe Bridges was there. Yeah, it was fun. So you can't get that on the audio only stream, and you get to watch the trailers. You get to do all kinds of fun stuff, interact in the chat. So, anyways, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
You better now, Tyler. You abandoned me on my birthday.
Yeah,
Last
I do
week.
apologize for that. So
I only turned 39 one time. One time, and you weren't there. I called twice.
I gotta tell you,
Not a fuck you.
I was so depressed that day because I couldn't come do the show and hang out on your birthday.
Yeah,
And I was mostly asleep for the whole day. And then when I was awake, it was just dread.
we made pizzas in the backyard afterwards. They were great.
Chris Geiger was here.
Yeah.
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 Other
Cool ass yard duty
people.
Chris was here.
It sounds like it was a great time.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah. One of us actually had a really good time.
Yeah, I was 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, God. Nice.
Yeah, I was
Played Mario.
Yeah, we played Mario. We recorded a drunk
Oh yeah,
podcast.
we came up here.
You did?
Because
Yeah.
Chris and
Frankie.
had not seen the podcast.
No, so yeah, we recorded a quiz, like impromptu quiz to some of the
You should have
fellas.
clipped some of it so we could play it on the show.
I have it. I haven't gone through it yet. All I know is I did a spot check and there was missing audio because I forgot to unmute before you came along. But I had that saved on Audacity, so I got to put it together.
It's like
Maybe it'll build a Patreon or something.
yeah.
yeah, that's
Just send it to Chris and
You to Chris and Frankie.
Yeah.
well, it sounds like it was a great time.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice. So this week, though, we got a traditional show. We got some gab. We got some chatter. We got some streaming picks. So,
I before I do that though,
Oh,
worlds collided over the weekend.
oh really?
Local celebrity Adam Murphy
Oh, cool.
and cool ass yard duty Javier met for the first time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that I was talking with Adam outside my place because he was coming to pick something up, and then Javier's in town, and we were hanging out that day already, and they just showed up at the same time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
What is this? A crossover episode?
yeah, exactly. In the same universe, worlds are colliding. I was like, guys, don't fight over me.
There's enough Navarro to go around.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was a good time. That sounds fun.
yeah.
Let's do some proper gab and chatter, shall we?
Find some charity, ye lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter movie news of the week. Tyler, lead us off.
All right, so everyone that was a fan of the Batman, Matt Reeves, the Batman movie is chomping at the bit for the second one to actually, get the ball rolling, start filming.
Yourself included. You're
Yeah,
constantly
myself.
you're constantly screaming into the ether about when am I going to get my Batman?
Yes.
When am I getting my Batman?
Yeah, and I mean, I apologize for my poor behavior.
You call it
but-
my Batman too,
My Batman.
with starring my Robert Pattinson.
My Batman, Matt Reeves,
Yeah.
Batman too.
Well, James Gunn, he's on the press tour promoting his new film Superman, and this is like a question that he gets asked in every single interview. When's the Batman 2 coming out? And so he got really fed up with Entertainment Weekly.
I'm tired of this.
He said, so they asked him the question, when's the Batman 2 script gonna be in your hands? When's the movie gonna start production? And he says, listen, we're supposed to get a script in June. I hope that happens. We feel really good about it. Matt's excited. I talk to Matt all the time. I'm totally excited about it. So we can't wait to read the scripts, but we haven't read it yet, if that's your question. That's what he told the Entertainment Weekly.
The way he said it makes it sound he's really upset.
Yeah, I was trying to accentuate that,
it was a delightful conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it was a fireside chat.
Yeah, he said people should get off Matt's nuts because it's let the guy write the screenplay in the amount of time he needs to write it. That's just the way it is. He doesn't owe you something because you like his movie. I mean, you like his movie because of Matt. So let Matt do his thing the way he does.
Yeah, I don't care if it takes 3 years or 5 years or whatever.
But I kind of self-reflected after seeing his ire towards this poor Entertainment Weekly journalist and
who left in tears.
Yeah,
After being berated by James Gunn.
And I just was like, you know what? I should change my tune a little bit and stop being so finger pointing. Hurry up.
Entitled
is the correct word I was looking for. And so James Gunn, and I feel bad for James Gunn because everyone's asking him about the Batman 2 instead of the movie he's promoting.
Tyler, put your phone on its face. Put your phone on its face. I'll give you $5 if you can tell me the name of the actor playing Superman in the new Superman movie.
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know.
David Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweat?
Corn Sweat.
Oh.
Corn Sweat?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
never heard of him.
I haven't either. I'm very curious about the Superman movie.
Yeah, has Crypto the dog in it.
Could care less. I couldn't care less.
Couldn't care less.
I could not care less.
Almost lost 5 social points from it.
It looks like a CW show.
I don't care about Superman at all. I haven't seen any of the original Supermans with the Richard Donner ones with.
You'd only need to watch the
Christopher
first
Reeves.
one.
I've never seen
or
any
first
of them.
and second one.
But I do love James Gunn. Everything he's ever made, I've enjoyed. So I'm holding on to that hope.
So I just find it. So I just kind of took a step back and I was like, okay, just
self-reflection.
Just chill. You'll get your Batman soon enough.
Suck on that, James Gunn.
Very good.
Anyways, that's what I got for this week.
All right, awesome. Joseph, what do you have for us for Gab and Chatter?
Well, we mentioned the lawsuit that was put against the director of the new movie Together, starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco, alleging that they essentially ripped off this other movie called Better Half. Which
so the new movie's called Together.
Yes, allegedly has the same very, very, very similar story and plot points. And Together is a horror, a married couple horror movie. And Studio Fest filed a copyright lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court, alleging that Alison Brie and Dave Franco had turned down an offer to star in Better Half, and then develop their own concept of a body horror movie based on a codependent relationship together.
Interesting.
So they're saying they turned down my movie and then they went and made that same movie.
To be fair, it's written and directed by someone else, Michael Shanks.
Yeah, I think Dave Franco did have a hand in it though as well.
Okay. Producers, Alison Brie, Dave Franco. Okay.
So they have their hands in the making of it. It's not Alison Brie's not just starring in it.
Okay.
And now Michael Shanks, the director, has come out with a statement and as released by Neon.
Okay.
And
it's a Neon production.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And it goes as such. Have you ever been in a relationship so long the line between you and the other person starts to blur? It's almost like an elevator pitch opening. Basically saying that he's been with his partner for over 16 years, over half of his life, and the entanglement of identity, love, and codependence is what inspired his movie. It's not just a script, it's something that he pulled from He's saying he pulled from his personal life. And originally He completed the first draft of the script in 2019 and registered it to the Writers Guild of America that same year.
Oh.
In October 2020, he received development funding from Screen Australia to further that project. In 2022, his agent at Warner Media introduced him to Dave Franco. From the very first meeting, they bonded for the horror, and I pitched him together. Script I've been trying to get into production for years with no luck. Soon after, he and Alison Brie came on board to act in and produce the film. So to now be accused of stealing the story, one so deeply based on my own lived experience, one I've developed over the course of several years, is devastating and has taken a heavy toll. So could be just parallel thinking.
Yeah.
Or is that what they call it?
Yeah. I think so.
He stands by Together and its origins and the years of work it took to make it real. To make this independent film was an absolute dream come true that required years of hard work and no shortage of luck. So yeah. So he's coming back saying like, well, I've had this idea for I don't know, however long, 7 years.
If he truly registered it in the story in 2019,
yeah,
that's almost like one of those things where you're like, I'm going to mail this to myself and leave this like the sealed, dated, whatever, to prove that I did this first.
Yeah,
it's like the what's it called, the plot of Primer. I went back for. I've been having a machine running this whole time.
Yeah.
But I think if he's actually registered in 2019, then it's verifiable. But have we verified it? Is he just like snaking his way out?
This is what he said.
Okay.
This is and I mean the
writers. What's the other movie called?
Better Half.
Better Half. Let's see here. Better Half IMDb. 2023.
Very recent.
Follows Arturo, who is searching for true love, and Daphne, a polygamist allergic to commitment. They meet for a one-night stand, but they end up finding their missing halves when their bodies fuse together during sex. It's not exactly the same story, because like I think the one with Alison Brie and Dave Franco, they're a committed relationship, and just because they've lived essentially together so long, their lives are
I mean the aspect
melding.
of just joining together like that, like a shunting type thing, is I think what probably like. I mean, that's like as a big part of the story.
I've seen,
right?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's similar.
Also in Color Out of Purple with the
Color Out of Space.
Color Out of Purple. the color out of space.
There is a lot of purple in there.
It's like the son and the mom combined.
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yep. And the llamas.
Oh, the llamas.
Remember in the barn, they like the llamas in the barn, and then they go out there and it's a big, massive. Mutant molten llamas.
I tried to forget that movie.
I rewatched it years later and liked it, but in theaters I was heavily disappointed.
Also, the weird spoilery Q&A they put in front of the movie. That was really poorly run.
Yeah.
There's a Reddit thread. I'm looking for movies where two characters merge into one. And let's see here.
Army of Darkness.
Blade Runner 2049.
I guess they separate in Army of Darkness.
Venom.
I was gonna say Venom.
What if they took someone's face?
Me, Myself,
off?
and Irene.
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey with Station. Annihilation.
Who combines?
Total Recall.
Like everybody with each other. They don't merge into a soup, but they're pieces of Ventress gets merged into the bear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they merge into one singular creature already existing thing.
Yeah, I don't see. I could have sworn. I know there's a movie where someone like they wake up
Stuck
together
on
and
you.
they're
Stuck on you.
they wake up and they're sewn together. I think, but that's different. It's not a.
Sounds like a House of 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah, something like that. But they're like naked and supposedly lovers. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, it was a short I watched. It was Spanish.
Oh, the short. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I remember hearing about it a while ago and thinking, well, that fucking sucks for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not a huge Dave Franco fan, but I do like Alison Brie.
Yeah.
So it would be sad to find out if they were plagiarists. But
yeah,
I guess it would be Michael Shanks specifically, and then they're just complacent.
Complicit in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they got pitched this story and they were like, I like some elements of it, but not the whole story about the swinging and all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then this other guy comes along and they get another script that's similar. Like, that's much closer to what we would actually want to do.
Yeah.
Let's throw our money behind that instead of this other one about a polygamist.
Yeah.
But then the other guy went and made his movie anyway. better half.
Correct. Yeah, they just didn't get the funding or whatever.
He's like, I gotta make it first.
Well, that's interesting.
So I mean, the movie was still like slated for release, I think. So
Yeah.
it's not.
I mean, Rust still came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took a while, but it came out.
Cool. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, cool. So for my story, this is more of a kind of a course correction in history from our old pal Danny Boyle, who's got 28 Years Later coming out this weekend, and it's supposedly like with 35 reviews at the time that I saw the posting, it was just 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I think it's still in the 90s.
What? 28 years later.
28 years later, yeah. And I heard it's like if Terrence Malick and Danny Boyle and someone else made a movie together. It's like a lot of people. A lot of
Terrence Malick fit into that.
A lot of smooth brains are saying that it's too artsy for them.
Smooth brain.
Really?
So it's interesting to see. I'm
curious to see how that
Yeah, me too.
what that looks like.
But it's got buff Ray Fiennes in it. So, but anyways, the point of this story is that Danny Boyle says he couldn't make Slumdog Millionaire today. That if he were to want to make the story, he'd want to find a young Indian filmmaker instead to do the directing. Yeah, he says, Danny Boyle says he's still proud of his Best Picture winner, Slumdog Millionaire, but even while acknowledging that, as a white British director, he could not make this Bollywood-influenced Mumbai epic tale today. He was speaking to The Guardian, and he basically said, in hindsight, it carries a lot of cultural appropriation. Despite working with a very large and primarily Indian crew, Boyle said that Slumdog Millionaire probably wouldn't even get financed today if a director such as himself would be attached. Quote,
true.
Quote, we wouldn't be able to make that now, and that's how it should be. It's a time to reflect on all that. We have to look at the cultural language we carry, or cultural baggage that we carry, and the mark that we've left on the world, which is rich coming from a freaking Brit. They steal everyone's culture.
And that's, exactly. It's probably what he's calling back on.
Yeah, good for him.
Well, and plus the British kind of fucked over India a long time ago.
And half of the countries in the world. Yeah. Colonizers. But I mean, who are we to talk?
Yeah.
So he continued, I'm proud of the film, but you wouldn't even contemplate doing something like that today. It wouldn't even get financed even if I was involved. I'd be looking for a young Indian filmmaker to shoot it. So then they asked him basically if Slumdog could be considered a form of cinematic colonialism. And he said, no, well, only in the sense that everything's colonialism if you look at it from the right perspective. At the time, it felt radical. We were making the decision that only a handful of us would go to Mumbai. He'd work with a big Indian crew and try to make a film within the culture, but you're still an outsider. It's still a flawed method. And that kind of cultural appropriation might be sanctioned at certain times, but in other times it can't be. So I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I mean, good for him for
he's gone woke.
You know what? We don't get new Danny Boyle movies anymore because of woke.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since then he hasn't made any culturally specific movies.
Let's see, Danny Boyle, IMDb. Let's see.
He made Sunshine, the 28 days later. I don't think he made 28 weeks later.
No, he didn't.
I honestly think that Danny Boyle is secretly one of the greatest living directors. He
did Yesterday.
He makes so many great movies, and it's like hidden under the radar.
Oh, Trainspotting was like early.
Yeah,
and T2 Trainspotting.
So let's go from no TV movies, just from he started with Shallow Grave, 1994, Trainspotting, 96, Iggy Pop, Lust for Life music video, okay. A Life Less Ordinary, 97, The Beach, 2000.
Oh, The Beach.
Yeah. 28 Days Later, 2002, Millions, 2004, Sunshine, 2007, Slumdog Millionaire, 2008, 127 Hours, 2010, Trance, 2013. Love that one. Steve Jobs, 2015. T2 Trainspotting, 2017. Yesterday, 2019.
The Steve Jobs movie he did was with Michael Fassbender, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Steve Jobs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the Kutcher one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Aaron Sorkin wrote that one too.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then 28 Years Later. He also has a upcoming movie that's
Yesterday, right?
Yesterday, yeah. Yesterday was 2019. Yeah, 2019. And then he's got an upcoming movie called Methuselah, an action-adventure story centered on a 1,000-year-old man who has used his time on this planet to develop an unparalleled set of survival skills.
Wow. Liam Neeson.
That was a set of skills.
Really old Liam Neeson. Are you guys excited to see for the Naked Gun movie?
Nah,
Yeah,
not really.
and yes and no.
Yeah,
I'm excited because of that one OJ joke.
yeah. That's what everybody keeps.
But I mean, I don't know. Modern day parody movies, I don't know if it works.
Well, they're doing that in Spaceballs too
Yeah,
now.
they're doing the Spaceballs.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, I know. So it's like in that era, we have the Naked Gun reboot.
The
and
parody
Spaceballs.
movies are back.
Parody movies are back.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have. It's kind of interesting. Danny Boyle. And the thing that shocked me the most about this when I saw a picture of him, he looks like a Megamind crossed with Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not what I thought he looked like when I saw the picture.
Mm.
He's got a large cranium, that guy.
I know. I was like wondering where his hair. He looked also like Phil Collins or something.
Oh yeah, you're right. Rip. Anything else, guys?
Is he dead?
No.
I was gonna say, I was like, he's very much alive.
Anything else, fellas?
No.
All right, let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the
Streaming picks. Movies that we watched on our streaming services this week that you can watch on yours too. Tyler, lead us off.
All right, I watched 4 movies this week, but I'm only going to talk about the 2 ones that I enjoyed the most.
What were the 2 that you didn't like?
We want to hear about the other ones.
What are the 2 you didn't like? You don't have to talk about it. Just give us.
Okay, Ghost World was one
You
of
didn't
them.
like Ghost World? I could have sworn you would have loved that.
Everyone was saying that.
Yeah, it seems like right up your alley.
They're just like, oh, I thought you would have liked that movie. I was like, no, I really didn't.
Oh, okay.
And then, what was the freaking other
Well, don't
one?
watch American Splendor. You'll hate that one too.
I love American Splendor.
Oh my god.
That's a Paul Giamatti.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My word.
Okay, no Ghost World. What is the other bad one?
I didn't. Again, Ghost World isn't bad. It's just.
No,
it's
you
just,
said what you said.
I never said it was bad. I never said it was bad.
Stay away at all
Is
costs.
it the weird relationship between Steve Buscemi and the main character?
That was jarring.
Thora Birch.
That was jarring. Yeah, but and that young Scarlett Johansson too. I totally was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the other one. Oh, Benny and Joon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never seen it.
I didn't like that. I actually didn't like that movie. I think Johnny Depp ruined that movie.
Is that the one where he's like quirky?
Yes.
Like he's like
Yeah.
has a hat.
So the story of
Kicks around.
Well, the story of Benny and Joon is really compelling because it's about this brother who's been taking care of his disturbed sister.
Mm.
And he's trying to reconcile whether or not he wants to live this life taking care of her for the rest of his life or send her to an institution.
It's like Reverse Rain Man.
Right.
Okay.
And so
Why can't you be like Raid Man?
and so that story is interesting.
money, sis.
That story is interesting because you have this guy wrestling with this very hard decision because he's been taking care of his sister like ever since their parents died.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps going through caretakers, and that was interesting. But then they shifted the focus on Johnny Depp being what I thought he had the same mental illness as the girl.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's just some weird guy.
Okay.
And so every time he was on screen, I was just like, God damn it, this sucks.
Okay.
But then
Just some weird guy.
yeah, and it was just dumb. Oh, and I watched Robin Williams' Awakening
Okay.
with Robert De Niro. That one made me feel like I was going to hell
Awakening.
Why?
Isn't that
because I was laughing.
why? What's wrong with it?
You just have.
Well, what's it about?
It's about these. It's Robin Williams plays this doctor who's not
Patch Adams.
who isn't.
He's treating patients that have Parkinson's.
No, that's not Parkinson's. It's like this weird disease where people are frozen, like they can't move.
Comas?
And no, they're not in a coma.
Oh.
They're awake. They just they
They're
can't
like-
talk. They can't move. Yeah, or they'll like be looking up
Our
like
old
this.
friend, the human statue.
11 o'clock. 12 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
It's based off of a true story, and so Robin Williams
Is
plays-
this your streaming pick?
no
You hated this movie too. Or
yeah.
you didn't like it.
I thought it was.
Is it a
okay.
sincere like drama?
It's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. But you thought it was funny?
Yes.
Why?
You'll have to watch
but
it. You'll
like
understand.
funny
He's
bad.
laughing. He's laughing at the
No,
people's
not-
plight, is what he's doing.
Yes.
Are they
That's
frozen like in a funny pose?
Some of them are. But once they get the medicine that starts making them move again, it's supposed to be an endearing movie. And that was, but
So it's like cheesy.
no, it's not. It's well acted. It's just that when
Tyler just doesn't like good movies.
I don't want to recreate what they do in the movie
It's
because
got
I
a
don't want to.
7.8 on IMDb.
I don't want to recreate.
There's Zeke Heiling. Is that?
No, it's just.
He's going to get himself in trouble.
I will exactly. I'm really tempted to do it, but I'm not going to. Just
give us your actual streaming picks.
check that out on Netflix. It's funny if you're an asshole.
Funny if you're an asshole. Got it.
Okay.
All right. This is also streaming on Netflix. Conan the Destroyer.
Just sequel.
It's so just it oozes 80s action fantasy movie genre. I really love this movie. I think just the aesthetic of it all is very enticing to me, but I'm a fan of like that 80s like medieval kind of stuff, and so that was very much down my alley. And yeah, it was a simple story, beginning, middle, end.
You've seen the first one?
Yeah, I've seen the. But
I haven't seen either of them.
I haven't seen the second one though.
Oh, okay.
Wilt Chamberlain's in this.
Yeah.
He had sex with 10,000 people.
Is that right?
My word.
He's also the only basketball player to score 100 points in one game.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? 100 points in one game. Well, himself.
And 100 chicks in 1 hour.
Yeah.
100 chicks per hour. Yeah, so Conan the Destroyer, just really fun, simple action movie you can watch on Netflix. I had a great time.
Pat Roach is in this too.
My father's sword.
I've never seen it.
And then my favorite movie that I watched this week was Fargo, 1996 Fargo.
First watch?
First watch.
Really?
Oh, really?
Holy crap! This movie was so good. It was. I kicked myself for not watching it, like until now.
Can't be the Coen brothers.
Well, it's funny. Like, I remember I was having a conversation with someone and they're like, have you ever seen Fargo? And I was like, yeah, I've seen it. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I'm watching it and I was like, I've never seen this movie before. And they were like,
you thought you saw it?
Of course I've seen this.
And then they're like, you said you saw it. And I was like, oh, I thought you meant Argo, not Fargo.
I thought you said Weast.
I was like,
I love Tyler's stories about how he chooses the movies. Someone said I should watch this movie, and I thought, should I watch this movie? Maybe I should watch this movie. I don't know. Maybe I won't watch this movie. But then at the end of the day, I watched the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of a long-winded point of, I watched the movie. Yeah, Fargo is really good. Directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, the Coen brothers. Mm-hmm. William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, Frances McDormand. Just all around.
John Carroll Lynch.
Well, I didn't even look at the plot going into this movie. I just pressed play. So I honestly didn't know where this was going.
You assumed you already seen it before.
No, that was Argo.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, Argo.
Yeah.
Not Fargo.
Fargo, fuck yourself.
And so, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I've kind of been enjoying, like, not reading the plots of movies before going into them.
Aren't you the one who, like, looks up spoilers for movies before you watch them?
I had a really bad habit of reading the last page of a book or reading the spoilers.
You do that with books, too?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm trying not to do that as much because I feel like when I do that, I lose the steam to check out the said thing that I was spoiling myself with.
Of course.
I mean, I guess that's why I like TikTok so much because it's just fast form. So it's like
brain rot.
I don't want to watch 2 hours of this.
I think that's what's happened to you in the last 3 years since our Synecdoche, New York episode. It's TikTok.
The TikTok
brain rot.
The brain rot.
Maybe. But that is streaming on Amazon Prime. Really good movie. I'm so glad that I finally watched it. And those are my and just an honorable mention, I watched both seasons of the new show Tires.
Oh, with Shane Gillis?
Yeah.
I've heard it's good.
That's a really, really funny show and it's super bingeable.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check that out on Netflix as well.
how'd you like? What'd you take away from Mike Yanagita from Fargo, the guy that she meets and when she goes into Minneapolis? He's the Asian guy he sits down with, and he's talking about how he's always had a thing for her.
Yeah,
and cries.
Well, once you find out that his wife wasn't actually dead from cancer, nor with the fact that he was even ever married, I got really creeped out. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of like discussion about that particular character, like what's the point of it or whatever. And it's like every time I watch it, I think about it. I'm like, why specifically that guy?
I mean,
what significance is it in the story?
I think it was just like a little bit of fluff to give the more complexity to the wife.
The best explanation I've heard so far is that once she realizes that he was lying the whole time, she kind of realized, oh, people can lie. So she goes and questions William H. Macy again. It's like, I think he's lying.
Okay, so it's just for character development.
It's almost just like everybody's so nice and honest there that eventually she's like, okay, maybe he's not being nice. Maybe he's not being honest.
I do like the Midwestern accents.
Yeah.
Like how over the top they were. It was fun. So those are my streaming picks for this week.
Cool. Awesome. Joseph, what do you got?
I've got a few. What I thought was, I haven't seen this movie, which is Pee-wee's Big Adventure, in a long time.
Okay.
I used to watch it a lot.
Never seen it.
And it's a Tim Burton movie.
Okay.
Starring Paul Rubin, or Pee Wee Herman, as he's credited as.
Okay.
As himself.
Pee Wee Herman as himself, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's how it's in the credits.
Like
Pee Wee
that.
Herman plays
That's nice.
himself. What I remember, the plot is that he has this bike that's like really souped up, and he like loves his bike, and it goes missing in the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Like it gets stolen. And I'm like, this could be like a detective movie.
Okay.
But it's revealed where the bike went in like the first 10 minutes. So it's like it's not a mystery anymore.
Okay.
It's just him. He doesn't know. So it's like dramatic irony. Is that what it's called? Where the audience knows, but the character doesn't.
Sure.
And so he goes on a quest. In an act of desperation, he goes to a psychic, trying to find his bike, and like he's getting a reading, and she's basically just conning him, and you see it. He gives her his wallet, and she's like looking around the room, like it's in Texas.
Oh, he's doing
at the Alamo.
She's doing a Kaiser Soze thing
in the basement. And so he believes it because he wants to get his bike back. And he goes on a quest to Texas. And I think he's in California.
Okay.
Or I don't actually know where he is, but it's like a kind of a road trip movie of him like trying to hitchhike at first with like the stick and like picnic blanket thing full of his stuff. And he's like, some similarities to like Carrot Top, like a prop comic a little bit. Like he pulls out like a rubber thumb and then he's holding it out. And he's also like Inspector Gadget. He has just like a bunch of devices like in his house. Like in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, when they make breakfast.
Yeah.
There's like a Rube Goldberg egg making machine and toast and pancakes and all the stuff. And so he's that kind of silly character. He's
over the top.
Yeah, he's like a
goofball.
It's like a clown character that is for adults and children. It's weird. It's like a blurred line.
Cool.
Because his character, Pee Wee Herman, he has like Pee Wee's Playhouse, which was a show, and then he had like a Pee Wee Broadway show, which was more for adults, like a little bit more inappropriate. So it's an interesting character, Pee Wee Herman is.
Does he visit the Amish in this one?
No.
That must be Big Top Pee Wee.
There's Big Top Pee Wee with Chris Christopherson, which is about him on a ranch, and the circus comes to town, this small town, and the small town doesn't want all these like the circus freaks there. And Chris Christopherson is like the ringleader.
All I know is there's a scene from that where he blows a balloon up really big, and he shows the Amish. He's like, "What do you do for fun?" And he like blows up this huge balloon and then just lets the air out slowly out of it. And it captivates the entire community.
Yeah. It's a childhood classic for me. This came out in 1985 and it's streaming on Max. It's a silly, fun movie. And you would I can see people finding his act like grating, but I think it's pretty funny. And he at the end of the movie, there's like a meta-ness to the movie where it's like the story that we had just watched gets remade into a movie.
Okay, cool.
And he's at the drive-in watching it. And he has a cameo, and some other actors playing him. Like more.
Do you know who it is that plays him?
It's probably somebody more famous.
I'll look it up.
But he's like a James Bond type of character. But yeah, I would recommend that. I'm a fan of Pee-wee.
I like Pee-wee Herman. I haven't seen enough of his stuff, but everything I see from him, I love. So I'll watch that. Where's that streaming?
That's on Max.
Okay.
Following that, another movie I have not watched since it came out in theaters from 1998, The Prince of Egypt.
Oh.
Animated one?
Yeah, the animated one with Val Kilmer, Ralph Fiennes, Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Danny Glover, Patrick Stewart, Helen Mirren, Steve Martin, Martin Short. This cast is stacked.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a star-studded cast.
And I saw this in theaters with my brother. It's a story of Moses, as we all know it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very different than the Ridley Scott Exodus, Gods and Kings, with Christian Bale playing Moses. But this is it's like a non-Disney animated musical. The music,
it's a musical?
Yeah, it's a musical. It's
I
very.
don't remember it being a musical.
It's that's crazy because there's a lot of music in it. It's really, it's like as like a fantasy story, like the Moses story is like really, really interesting and powerful, and the way they do like the plagues is really cool. So if you're into that sort of biblical fantasy story, The Prince of Egypt is and you haven't seen Prince of Egypt, that's a high recommend. Music is pretty solid too.
Where's that streaming again?
That is on Netflix.
Okay, cool. I've never seen that one either.
Directed by Steve Hickner and Brendan Chapman. And then
Hey, Dallas in the chat.
Whoa.
a movie that is not streaming for free. You have to rent it. Starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd.
Oh, you saw Friendship.
This is Friendship.
I'll piggyback on that too because I watched it.
And
dang it.
Kate Mara and Jack Dylan Grazer. Those are like the four main cast members. Oh, and a cameo
from Connor O'Malley.
Yeah. Really briefly.
Yeah.
And pretty much it's like a Tim Robinson sketch that you're trapped in. Like it's just the same sketch for an hour and a half, and whether or not you like Tim Robinson's humor will determine if you like this movie.
Yeah. To be fair though, Brianna is not a huge I Think You Should Leave fan.
Yeah.
And she really had a fun time with it.
It's an uncomfortable movie. It's directed by Andrew DeYoung,
and written by.
And the story that is portrayed in the trailers is a lot different than the story that we get.
It's like a super small part of it.
Yeah, because I went into it thinking like he is a neighbor of Paul Rudd who's playing a weatherman again.
Yeah.
He gets invited in, Tim Robinson's character gets invited into this group of guys and they bond. And what I thought was going to happen was just that like, for you don't know the reason at all, like he just stops being friends with him. Mm-hmm. Paul Rudd's character is like, you know what, man, this isn't working out. I don't think we should continue this friendship anymore. And I thought that we weren't going to get a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a reason why. And it's
warranted.
It's a little understandable.
Yeah.
Because Tim Robinson's character is painted, it reminded me of like Adam Sandler's character from Punch Drunk a little bit.
Just because he breaks the door.
No, because he's generally unliked. But the difference is that there's reasons why people don't like him.
Yeah.
Like people at his work don't like him
because he's the way he is.
Yeah, because he's the way he is. He's Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
And the opening sequence of this movie does also have drama to it, like a little bit of drama. In the very opening sequence where Kate Mara's character is like, they're in like a cancer
recovery group.
Yeah.
Okay.
and she's talking about she's talking about like an ex of hers who's come back into her life as a friend, and Tim Robinson's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And then she's talking about like asking like, am I ever gonna orgasm again? And Tim Robinson's like, what? And then he speaks and he's like, well, I'm orgasming just fine.
And that's pretty much all he says.
Yeah. And that's the extent, like his character is reasonably unlikable. And he tries like, also like Casey Affleck and Jesse James, where he's like really trying hard.
Oh yeah,
really trying hard.
Assassination of Jesse James.
Really trying hard to fit in.
That's a good pull. I didn't think about that.
It's vastly different movies, but but like the character of like just trying too hard to fit in is essentially what this movie is, and it's you have to have like his flavor of comedy, I think, to find enjoyment out of it.
It feels like a different shade of a type of movie like the Farrelly brothers make, where everything is supposed to make you uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Me, Myself, and Irene, he's constantly getting put in these situations where there's no good way out of it.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation and he's the butt of the joke. Or Something About Mary or something of that, like that, where you're like, he's constantly just getting fucked up the whole time. But in those movies, the protagonist didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
In this one, he's absolutely in the wrong through all of it.
Yeah.
Like the people at work don't like him. And the first thing you see him at work is he fills his coffee mug all the way to the brim. And then he's walking with it through the hallways, like full mug coming through. Don't bump me. Don't bump me. Full mug's coming through. And then he puts it down on like the meeting table and it's spilling all over the place. And he's trying to sip it out of the top. And everyone's just looking at him like, why would you fill it that full every day? It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's his character, I feel like, assumes a lot about other people. Like the whole like, we gotta go check out that new Marvel out. It's supposed to be nuts.
Yeah.
And then his wife is like, I gotta go to dinner with my ex tonight.
With Devin, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't remember his son's name, but Jack, your mom's abandoning us. We gotta go check out that new Marvel. And he's like, I already saw it. And he starts giving like spoilers. And he's like, no spoilers.
No spoilers. This is a Marvel free, spoiler free zone.
Yeah.
His son's name is Stevie.
Yeah.
No, that sounds like a great time.
There's a scene where his a moment when his wife is missing, and when she comes back, she's sitting there. She's been missing for like a day and a half, and it's a very tense moment because he's pretty much responsible for it.
Yeah.
And he comes into the house, and like the police have been looking for her, the community's been looking for her, and she's sitting there with one of those like reflective blankets on in the living room, all dirty and nasty and stuff.
Yeah.
And he walks in, and she's been stuck in the sewer.
Yeah.
So she's like freezing wet, cold, and everything. He comes into the house and sits down, doesn't say a word to her, sits down across from her and is like, fucking hot in here. You guys have the fucking heat through the roof.
Yeah.
And just like stares at her. And you're like, because he has no social wherewithal. It's real. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
It is very entertaining.
Yeah.
And the pacing of the movie is really quick. Like there's a moment where, I know we're giving a lot away.
Yeah.
There's a moment where he's like, he tries foraging for mushrooms with his son because he did it with his former friend, Paul Rudd. And you're like, this guy doesn't know anything about foraging. And
so this is not going to go good.
And like he's with his son and he pulls out some mushrooms from the ground. And his son's like, are you sure those aren't poisonous? And he's like, no, it's fine. He takes a bite. And then some like genius
Just
editing.
need some ranch.
Like, yeah, just need some ranch.
This mushroom needs some ranch.
Like really genius editing where it just immediately cuts to him like sweating, like sitting down.
Really trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And then there's also a fantastic sequence where he's trying to get high. When it ends, he's like, the fucking frog ripped me off. There's a lot of great one-liners that we could pull for the show from this.
Yeah.
So
really good.
Is it still the $20 rental?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah, it is. But
$20.
Cool. I'm glad you liked it because I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was.
If you watch I Think You Should Leave, if you've never even heard of that before, go to Netflix and type in I Think You Should Leave, watch one episode. And if you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I hate this. Don't watch Friendship.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So my streaming pick for the week. I did watch a movie that was inadvertently a detective movie. I didn't know it was a detective movie going into it. But it's called Pool Man from 2023, starring Chris Pine, directed by Chris Pine. Chris Pine directorial debut, I believe. This also has Annette Bening, Danny DeVito, the always beautiful DeWanda Wise, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Stephen Tobolowsky, Clancy Brown, John Ortiz, Ray Wise. Just a murderer's row of interesting actors. And this is I'll read the synopsis from Letterboxd. Darren Barronman, an unwavering optimist and naive Angelino, spends his days looking after the pool of the Tahitian Tiki apartment block and fighting to make his hometown a better place to live. He's a kind of weird hippie stoner wannabe, kind of acts like he wants to be a surfer, but really he's just a pool boy. And he takes care of like one pool is the Tahitian Tiki Apartments, who his girlfriend, Jennifer Jason Leigh, is like the manager for. So he lives in like an RV adjacent to the property and just cleans the pool all the time, and then sits in his RV and types letters to people and mails them off on a typewriter. And he's the kind of like the main plot is that he's always on the hunt to make Los Angeles just a little bit better, whether that's like rerouting the bus line or trying to open up a new sort of like community rec center or something like that. And his dad is Danny DeVito, I think. They have a strange relationship. I'm pretty sure that's his dad, or maybe it's his adopted dad. And then
his daddy.
And then Annette Bening is, I think, his stepmom, and she's also his psychiatrist and his best friend, according to him. And they go together to like City Hall, to like the community open forums all the time. And Stephen Tobolowsky's like the city councilman that kind of always hears their bullshit. And when they go in at the beginning, the first time they go to their community meeting or whatever, they're trying to, I think it's the one where they're trying to reroute the bus line. It's like, well, if you put the bus stop here, you can pick up people from this neighborhood, and other people from that neighborhood are disenfranchised because they got to walk 12 blocks to the bus stop. But if you do it here, it's an equal split. And he's like, probably has a valid point for all this, but he looks like an insane person, and he built like a diorama to illustrate his point. And he's like the 500th time in 3 years he's put a proposal in front of the city council or something like that. Like, they know him. The second he walks through the door, everyone's rolling their eyes. This guy. Yeah. So it's got good intentions, but kind of a dope. And it feels like he's trying to model his character after Lebowski, but just not nearly as good as Lebowski. I mean,
has like long hair, like a beach bum.
Yeah,
guy,
similar. Right? He's like a cross between Beach Bum and Lebowski.
Okay,
long hair. A lot of times he's in flip flops or shorts with a blazer, and he unwittingly gets into this like sort of murder mystery plot where he's framed for the murder of somebody, and there's a whole like espionage and like a secret like hitman and city council people being paid off and all these things. And he constantly is referencing Chinatown. In the movie, they're watching Chinatown, him and his like mom or his dad and stepmom. And they're watching Chinatown, and he says something like, it has something to do with the water supply. Cause he's like, he keeps referencing, LA is built on a desert. Beneath us is a desert, but not like Los Angeles. They said so in Chinatown. And it all kind of comes back to water at the end. It's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. And this got trashed.
Yeah, I remember it
trashed,
getting wrecked in the reviews.
The highest ratings on Letterboxd is 2 stars.
Oh wow.
Second highest rating is 1 star. It's a 2.2 average.
Interesting. And you liked it?
I thought it was good. It's got a tone though that takes a while for you to settle into, because it's not it doesn't play out like a standard movie. Like it's a lot of talking on top of each other. I feel like you'd have to watch this twice to really get it. And it's only got a 4.0 on IMDb.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I don't think it deserves the hate. It's not an amazing movie, but I was entertained with it. And it's got a unique sort of, I think the problem is that it's Chris Pine, and it feels like he's I don't think people dislike Chris Pine, but they don't love him.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like he's really swinging for the fences. It's like this. It's like Simple Jack, you know.
Okay.
He's trying to give us something great.
Well, there's like he's the average Chris. There's Chris Evans and then Chris Pratt, and most people like Chris Evans over Crispy Rat.
Chris Pratt is hated by most.
And then Chris Pine, he was fucking
Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk.
I don't know about his character as a human being, but I like Chris Pratt in movies. It's okay.
He's fine.
I like Andy Dwyer. Andy Dwyer's great.
Yeah, really. So, anyways, and Chris Pine also wrote this too. So it's like this is like his baby.
Yeah.
He wrote, he directed, and I think he made a kind of a pretentious push in the festival circuit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think it was well received from the get-go. So it's almost like you start off with bad reviews that just kind of carries through, and he doesn't have the charisma or like the overall
the lure.
The allure that many other people in Hollywood have. So I don't think it's worth all the hate. And
How was it Smoking Aces?
And it's streaming on Hulu. So you can watch that on Hulu. And then the last one I watched that was not Friendship is another $20 rental, like a fresh one that I didn't get to see in theaters, but I wanted to. This is Final Destination Bloodlines.
Oh.
It just came out. You can rent it pretty much everywhere for $20. And this is fucking fun. This is like right up there with part 2 and part 1. I think go back and forth for me for which is the better one.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 has more memorable kills. It gave us the logging truck scene.
Yeah.
Gave us a number of really dynamite kills that kind of changed the mindset of an entire society after watching it. But Final Destination 1 introduced the entire thing, and it has the phenomenal plane crash scene, which is really one of the greatest plane crash scenes of all time. It set a stage. It's instilled
More like of an explosion.
Right? Plane explosion.
Mm-hmm.
And then also other things like Sean William Scott's head being split in half.
That's the one that I remember the most. And the kitchen knives.
Yes. So the Rube Goldberg device of death trying to kill you, right?
Yeah.
And it's like there's so many things in it that are like, if I'm near a train driving by, I don't want to be near it because I'm afraid something's going to be on the track and it's going to shoot up and cut my head off.
Yeah.
Or lawnmowers.
So this,
I don't want to be getting a haircut and there's a lawnmower outside.
Oh yeah, the rock. Throw the rock. Well, this one has another lawnmower scene in it.
Nice.
But it's more direct. Yeah, it's more Dead Alive than it is throwing a rock.
Not like the Happening type of situation where he just lays down in front of it.
He's on the grass when the thing comes, but he fell.
Or like Frankenhooker.
Frankenhooker, yeah, kind of. It's kind of like that. Or Dead Alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this kind of goes back to the roots. It's a great, except for it plays more into the lore where it's like, okay, what happens if Devon Sawa in the first one cheats death, and then he goes to that cabin, right, to hide away from everything.
The padded
cabin, a la Laurie Strode from Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's in the cabin away from everybody.
Training.
Well, what if that person had children and they're living their life, but they're sheltered from the death of death because she's still alive? Well,
so is it like genetics? So like
bloodlines.
Bloodlines.
I get Final Destination Bloodlines.
I bet they were mad when Hereditary came out. They were like, God damn it. Final Destination Hereditary.
But the cool thing about this is that it's Zachary Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein are co-directors. They worked on a couple of projects together, and they're huge fans of the original franchise. And when they pitched the studio heads for this movie, they were doing it over Zoom, and they faked their own death on Zoom with a stray ceiling fan that sliced them up. And they had like a video ready to go that they cut to that was them dying.
Oh my God.
Like without warning, they did it with all the studio execs and then popped back in, and everyone was like busting up laughing and fucking loved it.
That's awesome.
So they're true fans of the franchise, and it shows. And it was really, really well done. Yeah. I mean, like I said, 2 and 1 jockey back and forth for me. I think 2 still is the better one.
Mm-hmm.
But this is up there.
Okay.
You like the characters. There's some deaths. There's an MRI death.
Oh.
MRI machine death that's brutal. There's a piercing scene with like a piercing shop, tattoo piercing shop.
Oh,
That's you can imagine. So there's again, it goes back to the primal roots of like, oh, this is, oh, you broke a glass in the ice machine.
Oh yeah,
and you scoop up the scoop of ice, and you're gonna drink the ice. You know, they're playing with that whole like tension. Will it? Won't it? With death. And then of course Tony Todd. This is his last movie.
Yeah,
he was sick and on the edge of death, and they shot his scene first in production because they didn't know how long they had him.
Mm-hmm.
And his scene, knowing that that's the end of his life in real life, he gives a little soliloquy to them about living your life and not letting death scare you, and just you have to do what you're going to do because you only have one life to live. Blah blah blah. And that was very touching. Got a little choked up thinking about it because I was like, this could be the last. Could have been his last day on Earth.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the timeline or whatever, but it was very close to that. So that's a $20 rental, worth it if you are really into that series. We just watched all 5 in a row like last month preparing for this, me and Brianna. So, and she was very happy to do that because she hadn't seen most of them. So anyways, that's Final Destination Bloodlines. High recommend.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys got anything else?
I do not.
No.
Oh, Heather's in the chat too.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather. Okay, cool. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Heather in the chat, Javier, Michael, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so. Patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just watch us on the YouTube, recommend to a friend. We're at 1170 or something like that. 1100 subscribers, something like that.
Nice.
1100s. We're next goal is 2,000. And spread the word. It's a lot of fun doing this for you guys. We like the people participating in the chat, and just when we see a big spike in downloads on the audio thing, we know that new people are listening. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So until next time, thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter. We talk movie news, streaming picks. Follow us later on today or later on in the week as we review The Kid Detective, my pick for Detective Joon. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right, we're going to take a short break because we got a hyper schedule today, so we'll be right back with a review of The Kid Detective. See you soon.
See ya.
See ya.
You abandoned me on my birthday.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later. See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.